Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel of Pharmacy. So if you are watching this channel for the first time, so please make sure to subscribe and like the video. And I'm getting the views, but some of you are not going to like the video. So I request, if you like the video, so try to like button and also share to your friends, and it will be so useful for me and you also. So the today's topic is citric acid cycle. So all we know the cycles of citric acid, glycolysis or glycosenolysis, all these are important topics, right? So in this video I want to make the citric acid so easy to remember. So it would be so easy if you are watching this video, and I wish it would be the easiest method to follow. Okay, so let's start. The citric acid cycle is also called as the tricarboxylic acid cycle. Citric acid cycle is also named as the TCA cycle or citric acid cycle or also Krebs cycle. Okay, so in exams they may ask, mention about a TCA cycle, okay, but they may also ask about Krebs cycles or citric acid cycle. So try to remember all these three names, that is citric acid cycle, tricarboxylic cycle, acid cycle, and TCA cycle, that is also tricarboxylic acid cycle, and Krebs cycle. Okay, so before going to the citric acid cycle, so why we need this cycle? So to get the energy we need this cycle. Okay, so generally energy means, whenever we remember the cell, energy means organ, that is cell organelle, that is mitochondria, right? So this process occurs in the mitochondria and the enzymes are present in the mitochondrial matrix. Okay, and it is mainly involved in oxidation of acyl-CoA into carbon dioxide and water. So in this process it mainly involves, the only thing is oxidation of acyl-CoA, because the starting product of, the starting intermediate is acyl-CoA. So this acyl-CoA obtained from the pyruvate. Okay, so we get carbon dioxide and water. Citric acid cycle is the final oxidative pathway for carbohydrates, fats, and AA means amino acid. So remember here in this video, one of the most important bit, what are the products which are having the final oxidative pathway in the citric acid? Means carbohydrates, fats, and amino acids. Okay, the only process is to produce energy, and in this process, while we are getting energy, we need to have the energy carriers, right? So the energy carriers are the most important thing. So in this, NAD plus gets converted to a NADH, and FAD plus get converted to the FADH2, and there are generally 10 steps in citric acid. So now let's start. This is the introduction about citric acid. But before writing the citric acid cycle, definitely you should write what is citric acid cycle. So this is the matter enough, and you should write the continuation process, right? So there are generally 10 steps. So remember 10 steps. If you remember the 10 steps, then the cycle is so easy. So how to remember 10 steps? So remember citric acid. So in the name of citric acid, there are 6 plus 4, 10. So there are 10 steps, right? So in the 10 step, so I am giving that first step is the citrate. Remember, these are the intermediate compounds, right? So citrate, cis-acotinase, isocitrate, oxalosuccinate, alpha-ketoglutaric acid, succinyl-CoA, succinate, fumarate, malate, oxaloacetate. So remember these names. Okay, so remember CCIOA, so alpha IOA, SS FMO. Okay, so how to remember means CC. So locate means CC, Indian officer alpha, Indian officer named as alpha. Succinyl, so you remember succinyl-CoA means, so remember CoA and remove the CoA and write succinate, and then fumarate, malate, FM, FM radio, right? And oxaloacetate. So if you remember CCIOA, Indian officer alpha, succinyl-CoA, remove the CoA and succinate, and FMO, that is fumarate, malate, oxalate, acetate. So this is the term, and these are the intermediates. So in between every intermediate there should be an enzyme, right? without an enzyme there is no conversion of one intermediate to another intermediate, right? So for that every conversion there should be an enzyme. So this is the process to remember intermediates, and we can get into the what are the enzymes are necessary in this process. So enzymes are related to these intermediates only. If you remember very well of these intermediates, you can easily remember the enzymes, okay, because the enzyme names are related to the intermediate product, okay. And here I want to give one more information that citrate means, remember, citrate 6 carbon compound, and cis acotinase is also 6 carbon compound. So up to oxalosuccinate there are 6 carbons, and from coming to the and getting into the alpha ketoglutarate it is an 5 carbon. Remember, after 6 carbons we getting a 5 carbon at the 5th step, right? 5th step 5 carbon, and next when you coming to the 6th step and 7th step and continuation to the 10th step you have only the 4 carbon compounds. Remember, 6 carbon, 5 carbons, and remaining all are 4 carbon. And you can remember that is up to 5th step you are getting up. Before the 5th step you are having only the 6 carbon compounds, and at 5th step remember 5 carbons, and remaining after the 5th step there are all are 4 carbons, okay. This is the easiest path, right? So if you remember the carbon compounds, that number of carbons, that is easy to write the citric acid cycle. So I will show you how you that. So see here this is an pyruvate. So remember, when you consume the food the energy is stored in the form of pyruvate. So the energy stored from food we eat is known as the pyruvate, and that pyruvate we need energy. So if you want energy the pyruvate should activate, right? So that pyruvate is going to convert it into the acetyl CoA. The structure of pyruvate, that is CH3 C double bond O COO, and that is converting into the acetyl CoA. This is the energy releaser or supplier. Remember, acetyl CoA, this is the 2 carbon. So here I am saying that, remember, acetyl CoA when it is combining with the oxaloacetate, which is the 4 carbon compound, 4 plus 2 6. So that's why I mentioned that is the citrate is a 6 member compound. Here oxaloacetate is a 4 member compound and acetyl CoA is a 2 member compound, because here we are having only 2 carbons, 1 2. And you should remember acetyl CoA structure, because in wherever you go definitely you will notice that acetyl CoA is present. So at that time you have to remember the structure of acetyl CoA. So remember, acetyl CoA means SCOA, and acetyl CH3 C double bond O, okay. So these both combiningly by using the citrate synthetase they are converting into the citrate. So how you will make easy? So I want to show you here. So I have already told you citrate is a 6 member compound. So try to write 6 carbons, that is 1 2 3 4 5 6. Write 1 2 3 4 carbons. Later on try to mention two oxygen molecules here. So here the step is finished, and here to balance the carbon we need 2 hydrogens. So we kept here 2 hydrogens, but here we have to keep the OH. So that is the only difference. So try to mention that citrate it has the OH group. So on continuation citrate using the cis acotinase enzyme, that is by losing of water. So where it lost the water? Here the OH, and water means H2O. It need one more hydrogen, right? So from here it taking the hydrogen, and these are left as water. And if these both are leaving as water, so we have to maintain the stability, right? The carbon had 4 valency. So that's why we are keeping here double bond, okay. So here this is the double bond, and remaining same up to 5th steps. Up to the 5th step we will get only 6 carbons. So 1 2 3 4 5 6, but the only change is double bond. Acotinase, which is a 6 member, and again the cis, and again acotinase by using the cis acotinase enzyme it is going to convert it into the isocitrate. Again isocitrate is also a 6 membered compound. 1 2 3 4 5 6, same here also H2, and here when it comes to here, try to mention the double bond is again reblacked into the hydrogen, and to balance this we are keeping here as OH. Okay, so that is isocitrate. So again the isocitrate, so again the isocitrate by using the isocitrate dehydrogenase. So now I think you got the answer why I kept here OH, why we got here OH to remove the water molecule again. Okay, now isocitrate dehydrogenase is going to convert into the oxalosuccinate again, which is an 6-membered compound. So here after OH you keep again the double bond. Keep again the double bond because alpha ketoglutarate is the keto. Keto means double bond O. So before entering into the keto group, the previous step should contain a double bond O. Then only we can get the alpha ketoglutarate. So that's why the OH after we are giving the double bond O, oxalosuccinate. Here by the decarboxylation, that is nothing but the removal of carbon dioxide. How means see CO2 removed, and by decarboxylation it get converted into the alpha ketoglutarate. But even though it loses the carbon dioxide, it is having the keto group. See what we have replaced here, the same step is present here, right? And this again alpha ketoglutarate, by using the alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase, it get converted into the succinyl CoA. So if you observe here 1 2 3 4 5, this is an 5-membered compound, right? So the fifth step, that is the 5-membered compound. Okay, the only loss of carbon at this secondary position, that is at the second place, and this is converted into the succinyl CoA. Succinyl CoA is a 4-membered compound. See the name itself indicating CoA. So succinyl CoA is a 4-membered ring. After the fifth step, every coming compound is the only 4-membered compound. So see here, before we remove the carbon here, and the same step, but here C double bond O is removed because there we need to replace the succinyl CoA. We have to replace the succinyl CoA. That's why SCOA. So this succinyl CoA, by using the succinate thiokinase enzyme, this is the thiokinase enzyme, it gets converted into the succinate. And here see the 4-membered compound CH2, and again remember CoA is removed. Okay, the CoA is removed and completely the succinyl CoA is removed, and it became the 4-membered compound, that is 1 2 3 4. Okay, so shift this to here and this is easy to you. And this succinate is get converted into the fumarate by using the succinate dehydrogenase. So succinate dehydrogenase no. So remember the same compound you have kept here, but only when it comes to the fumarate, between two carbons definitely there should be a double bond. Okay, so when there is here the double bond, we shouldn't write the H2 because of 4 carbons, and remaining everything is of same. C COO place here and COO place here, hydrogen COO and hydrogen and double bond. Remember fumarate means double bond between the two carbons. And next, by using the fumarase, the enzyme, it gets converted to the malate. Malate means HO, water. The only step here, the remove not dehydrogenase is no dehydrogenase occurs at malate. From fumarate to malate, there is a no dehydrogenase, only the addition of hydrogen, addition of water molecule. So here, so the same step, but you try to mention here OH. So that is malate. This malate is again converted into the oxaloacetate by using the malate dehydrogenase. So this is the step. This whole process, if you observe, the conversion of isocitrate to NAD going to convert it into the NADH plus H plus, and the oxalosuccinate is using again the NAD plus and NAD the same, and also the malate is also requiring NAD plus to convert into the oxalosuccinate, and here that is the isocitrate to alpha ketoglutarate having 2 NAD plus and malate 3 NAD plus, and in between the succinate and the fumarate there is an FAD is get converted to the FADH2, and also here succinyl CoA to succinate, that is GDP is converted into the GTP, that is nothing but ADB is to G into ATP. Okay, so I hope you have understood, and this is the complete picture, and you can take